by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
The eighth inning. Johnny Briggs has reached to the air and grounded out and lined out. Jenkins been in there all the way for the Cubs, and his pitch is outside. Jenkins has given up 8 hits. Ball 2. He hasn't walked a man. There's a strike. He has struck out 6.
Kurt, apparently Ferguson Jenkins has passed the word along to manager Leo DeRocher. He may be losing just a little bit because he's got 2 pitchers warming up down there.
A 2-1 pitch to him. Through everybody. 3-1. Regan, the right-hander. Rich Nye, the left-hander. Don Money will be on deck, and then Stone. And that's the first man that Jenkins has walked. The second one, let's check that. He's walked 2. Don Money is grounded out, struck out, and grounded out. It's hot here. This heat can start taking its toll. Even though Jenkins is usually a game finisher. Don Money, batting .244. Pops it off the bat handle, back out of play. No balls, 1 strike. In there for strike 2. The Money. Phillies are now warming up Grant Jackson, a left-hander. Throw to first. Back is Briggs. This boy at the bat, Don Money, was acquired from the Pirates with pitchers Woody Fryman, Bill Axton, and Harold Lamb in a trade for Jim Bunning after the '67 season. Grant Jackson warming up. 1-2 to Don Money. Foul again.
Jenkins looks like he's a little bit higher this inning, Kurt, than he was earlier in the ballgame. Even with that slider, that curveball of his, he's coming inside once in a while. It's a sign that maybe he's tiring and his legs are a little weak.
Foul again by Money.
Not quite bending over enough, getting down and getting that good push off. That right foot off that rubber.
There's a pop foul. Hundley waiting for it. 1 away. That brings up Ron Stone, who has struck out, single, and bounced to the pitcher. Jenkins is rough in this ballpark. He has led the National League pitchers in victories at home the last 2 years. He won 15 and lost 5 here in '67 at Wrigley Field. Last year he won 13 and lost 7. This year he's won 5 and lost 4 at home, and he's won 6 and lost 2 on the road. So he's been better on the road than at home this year. He won 20 last year and lost 15, and 5 of those losses were by 1-0 scores. A 1-0 pitch. Ball 2, 2-0. We have our first final score, and the Yankees beat Washington 3-1. Burbach the winner and Bosman the loser. 2-1 around Stone. The Cubs are leading the Phillies 7-4 in the 8th inning. Three and one. In the late innings, the pitcher starts getting behind, or when he starts walking batters, that's usually a tip-off to a manager that he's starting to lose it. Now Ron Santo wants to talk to him, and so does Randy Hundley.
Leo DeRocher signaling his infielders to get out to the mound and give Ferguson Jenkins a little bit of a break. Give him a little bit of a rest period. Tell him to get on top of those pitches, bend those legs in that back, get the ball down low in the strike zone. This is the type of park, Kurt, with the short dimensions all over that you want to be especially sure, certain that you keep the ball down low. Always got the chance for the double play. You get the ball in the air with the wind usually blowing out, the balls jump out of this park.
Fires the fastball through. 3-2 to Ron Stone. One out. Johnny Briggs at first. There's a base hit to right. Hickman's gun in the game in right field, comes up with it, fires to second. The Phillies have runners on first and second, one away. And DeRocher's coming out now to talk to Jenkins.
Jenkins, the type of pitcher, we talked to Leo before the ball game about him. He's the stopper on this staff, and you go along a little bit farther with a pitcher of Jenkins' caliber than you would with most, especially when just the day before your bullpen collapsed on you. Kurt, yesterday, Aguirre, and as we mentioned, and of course Regan, they couldn't get anybody out. Abernathy had some difficulties too, so he'd like to go with Jenkins if Jenkins says, I can still throw the ball.
And he's going to switch. He's asking for Regan. DeRocher's decided on this hot day Jenkins is tired and he's going to remove him. 7-0. Kansas City over Chicago at the end of 7. California at Oakland hasn't started yet. Boston at Baltimore tonight. I think I missed the Seattle-Minnesota game. There's a foul ball. Minnesota 10, Seattle 1 at the end of 7. Twins have been playing steady baseball the last couple of weeks. Widen the gap to 3.5 games now in the Western Division of the American League. Bryan batting .213. Look at him up in that bat handle. Runners on first and second, one away. Bryan started after it, held up. Now DeRocher is arguing that was a swing. Yeah, he just wanted to ask something and quickly goes back.
Leo knows we're on national TV today, doesn't he? He's quite a showman.
Believe it might have something to do with it.
He's done a heck of a job with his Cubs team, though. The players love him, you know that?
Well, we said a couple of weeks ago, this is where he belongs, in the dugout, not some executive somewhere. So he's a very outstanding baseball man and showman. Whether you like him or not, he still adds a lot of color and controversy and pepper to the game. The player and the manager all his life, he's been that way. He's sharp. There's a ground ball to second. Becker to Kessinger for one, over to first, double play. And Regan comes in and bails him out on the top of the 8th. No runs, one hit, there were no errors and one left. At the end of 7.5, it's the Cubs 7 and the Phillies 4.
Restaurants are our family, the cornerstone of our communities. And our family needs help. Right now, they're facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to help them through. Because if we don't treat restaurants like family today, they might not be around to treat us like family tomorrow. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle, looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
And it's the last of the 8th inning. The Philly pitcher Johnson will face Qualls, Regan, and Kessinger. Qualls a single, grounded out and single. Line drive, cut by the shortstop. Soft liner out there, and there's one out. John Money making the play. Bill Regan due up. The Cubs started something new here. That is for Chicago. They've opened a special autograph booth under the stands behind the Cub dugout. And every day, 3 different Cubs will autograph for the fans. They're taking turns. Today, it was Randy Hundley, Don Kessinger, and Glenn Beckert who did the autographing. Tomorrow will be 3 more Cubs. And that's to accommodate the fans. They all can't do it at once, but they pick out 3 each day to do it here in their own ballpark. Bill Regan up for his first time. The Phillies' last chance in their 9th inning. We'll have Darren Johnson, Tony Taylor, and Crispin Rojas up. Bounding ball to Tony Taylor at third. There are 2 down. Don Kessinger has grounded out, single, struck out, and doubled. The Cubs have a 500 or better record against every team in the National League this year. Against the Phillies, they've won 5 out of 7. Kessinger, 296 average. Inside for a ball.
Say, listen, next week in San Francisco when I see you, can have some more of those trout for us, or do I have to bring some Polish kielbasa and cook that up for us? What do I have to do there?
No, well, here's the 1-0 pitch. Strike. We'll have to be without the trout for a while now. We'll have to get a chance to go fishing again. Beckert on deck. Two and one. I'll have to get you some of those good Cape Cod striped bass or bluefish. 2-2. Two down, nobody on. 7-4, Chicago. Fouled away. Tony's starting on down, and depending on the time element, he usually has the star of the game on after the game of the week. You might be interested in hearing about. Two and two count. Two down, nobody on. Line drive to left. Third hit for Kessinger. And Glenn Beckert coming up. He's gone hitless. He hasn't had the ball out of the infield 4 times. Getting overcast in Chicago. A threat of rain. Chicago 7. Phillies 4. The Cubs had 2 in the second, 4 in the third, and 1 in the sixth. Right. Beckert batting an even 300. Kessinger will be right up around 300. So those two top men in the Cub batting order are table setters. They're on base a lot. 0-2 to Glenn Becker. Billy Williams, hitting third, is hitting 301. Ron Sano's hitting 295. A hot day by Sano, and they could have the top four in the 300 mark in the batting order. One ball, two strikes to Becker. Two down, Kessinger at first. Throw to first, Kessinger back. Pitch was outside for ball two. 2-2 to Becker. Alaba. Two and two. Foul again. And Kessinger on the move. He pops it up. Going out is Rojas. He was calling for it all the way. And the Cubs are out of the last of the eighth inning. No runs, one hit, there were no errors, one left. At the end of eight, the score is the Cubs 7 and the Phillies 4.
I am Robert Strickler. I've been involved in communications in the media for 45 years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
You're watching the Marquee Mystery Game. Let's get back to the action.
Darren Johnson, who came in as a first baseman, will be up for his first time in the game. He's hitting in the pitcher spot for the Phillies, number 9. Batting .245. It'll be Johnson, then the top of the order, Taylor and Rojas. Against Phil Regan, who came in to relieve Jenkins in the 8th. Regan now trying to protect this 3-run lead for the Cubs. The Cardinals are winning. The Mets are idle today. They were rained out. In fact, the Cardinals have just won. They beat the Pirates 6-3. A pop-up by Darren Johnson. Kessinger under it. One out. Those Cardinals, they have never gelled this year. They just couldn't get a good streak going. They've got one going now. They have now won 10 of their last 11. And they could be real rough the last half of the year. Alan Ross, our statistician on NBC's Game of the Week, and Jim O'Gorman's our stage manager. Taylor, a single and a double in 4 times. 1 out, nobody on, 7-4 the Cubs. Strike. Regan's got that herky-jerky delivery. He was the Tigers, went with the Dodgers, did a great job. They let him go. He's come here to the Cubs and done quite a job. Ball's fair down the first baseline. Jim Hickman playing it off the wall. Taylor's in the second base with a double. His third hit of the game. And there's a smell of rain in the air suddenly here. You can feel it coming. Big black cloud now moving overhead, and you can sniff it. Cookie Rojas hitless in 4 times. 1 out. Taylor at second, 9th inning. 7-4 the Cubs. Ball 1. And it's getting windy. The wind has shifted. Now there's a cloud. That's just the edge of it, though, coming overhead. The wind has shifted now and is blowing in from center field toward home plate against the hitters. Foul ball, Ernie Banks. That wind is carrying it into about the 3rd row. 2 or 3 innings ago, Banks could have had a shot at that. The wind has switched. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cookie Rojas. At second base is Tony Taylor. 1 away. Ball 2, 2-1. Three and one now. And the tying run will now come to the plate for the Phillies. Larry Heisel will follow Rojas. Rojas has walked. He's on first. Taylor's on second. Heisel has had 1 hit in 3 times. Rich Nye, a left-hander, starting to warm up for the Cubs. Runners on first and second. 1 out. Outside a ball. Dave Watkins come out on deck. The pitcher is due up next for the Phillies in the number 4 spot. Dave Watkins. A strike at the knee. 1-1. Ball 2, 2-1. Fastball by him, 2-2. Tony Taylor's at second. Cookie Rojas at first. 1 out. Ground ball. They've got 1. That's all. Kessinger with a good range that time, keeping that ball from going up the middle. 4th play on Rojas. Kessinger to Becker. 2 down. Taylor's on third. Heisel's on first. And Dave Watkins will bat for the pitcher Johnson in the number 4 spot. Watkins batting .200. Seven to 4 Cubs, 2 away now for the Phillies in the ninth. They're down to their last out. Strike. Ball 1-1 for Dave Watkins. Runners on first and third. 2 down. On the corner, strike 2. Runners on first and third, 2 away. Fly ball to right. Jim Hickman waiting. And the game is over. Chicago has defeated the Phillies. In the ninth inning, no runs for the Phils. 1 hit, there were no errors, and 2 men left.
Thanks for reliving this Marquee mystery game on Marquee Sports Network.
From his world-class neon green karaoke studios, it's Up the Mound with Ryan Dempster. Presented by Sloan. Featuring guests, Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, and World Series MVP, Jermaine Dye. And a 5-time All-Star and World Series champion, the Crime Dog, Fred McGriff. And now, the host of Off the Mound, Ryan Dempster.
Welcome everybody to this week's edition of Off the Mound, presented by Sloan. I'm your host, Ryan Dempster. Thanks for tuning in and joining us this week. We got a great couple guests. That's right. We got the Crime Dog, Fred McGriff's going to be joining us, as well as 2005 World Series MVP from the south side of Chicago, Jermaine Dye, is going to be here. We got a great show. Unfortunately, we don't have any real baseball going on. We're all bummed about that, me especially. But what I've been fired up is all of the old games that have been playing on TV lately. It's been fun to catch up those, no-hitters, perfect games, great playoff games that have been going on, special moments in baseball history, kind of going down memory lane and wrestling those memories in there and kind of taking it all in. And I've learned a lot of things as I've done this. I realized that in the 80s, all the players' pants were painted on. This I didn't know. It wasn't something that happened when I came in the 90s. What I did learn about the 90s, however, was, I guess, in order to combat the rampant use of PEDs, pitchers actually didn't have to throw the ball over the plate for a strike. That was kind of cool. The Braves perfected that. Nobody probably better than LeBron Hernandez against those very Braves in the NLCS, as we saw him punch out 17. Pretty impressive. Before the 2000s, ironically, this was pretty special. I found out that hitters had the ability to hit without ankle guards, shin guards, knee guards, elbow guards, wrist guards, and some sort of protective face gear. So that's pretty impressive. And also, too, one thing I realized is that I really miss starter jackets. Man, those things glisten, the sheen and shine of those. Whoa. Even the pop group ABBA was jealous of those things. They were pretty special. As we look back at all these great games and we think of the memories, there's so many for me. Nolan Ryan's memorable 7th no-hitter which was pretty incredible to do at his age in the big leagues. I remember that vividly. Joe Carter with that walk-off home run in the World Series against Mitch the Wild Thing Williams. Being a kid from Canada, up visiting a friend at Simon Fraser University when that ball went over the wall, well, everybody was jumping up and down because it was so special. But when I take all those in, I think probably my favorite or most cherished memory of all those, that's easy. World Series 1976. That's right. The bases were loaded, the count was 2-0, and I was naked, running around behind second base, and the fans were screaming, "Get him off the field! He's ruining the game!" And they grabbed me and they dragged me through the dugout, and Bucky Dent looked me right in the eyes and said, "That pathetic idiot, that sad, pathetic idiot." You know, for some people, they think baseball is a metaphor for life. For me, it's just a game of two teams consisting of somewhere between 8 to 10 players, and there's something called innings. Well, we got a great show this week, folks. That's right, we got 2005 World Series MVP Jermaine Dye is going to be joining the show.
Hate him as an opposing team because he just wears on you.
And we got the crime dog, Fred McGriff.
They get on top of the plate, and they're like, come on.
We'll be right back with Off the Mound, presented by Sloan, right after this.
Catch all the weekly show highlights each weekend with Best of Cubs 360 Daily.
5 years ago, I didn't get into this game to be a pitching coach. I was in this game to help guys get better.
You asked me for the greatest moment is in Cleveland in 2016. There's nothing like that.
The fact that they documented these things right at that time in the 90s. And they knew at some point they wanted to show the world what that experience was like.
Best of Cubs 360 Daily, Saturday at 11:30 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Miller Lite.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema, or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. That's a difference you can feel. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within, and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Every weekday night, tune into the stadium.
Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred wants to play as many games as possible as soon as possible.
If this 2020 Cubs team wants to get back to where they were at 2016, I think David Ross is going to be the right guy to lead them there.
You're either going to get through this or you're going to grow through this. And I think it's a great chance for coaches, business people, everyone to get better at your personal craft.
The Stadium, weeknights at 6:30 on Marquee Sports Network. Presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Off the Mound, presented by Sloan. I am very excited for our next guest. Not by the way he treated me out on the baseball field, but as a person, this guy is a number one. Let's bring in will be and should be Hall of Famer, in my opinion, former first baseman around the league, including World Series champion with the Atlanta Braves. He played on the north side of Chicago for a couple years. The crime dog, Fred McGriff. Freddie, how are you, pal?
What's up? Good to see you. I'm hanging tough. I feel bad for you in Chicago with the weather being up and down. I'm in sunny Florida. I look outside and it's about 80 degrees right now. This is beautiful.
Oh, so the 412 you hit off me wasn't enough. Now you got to rub in the fact that you got really nice weather down there too.
Well, Ryan, the thing about it is, I used to love it when you played with the Marlins and everything, because your pitching staff, you guys were coming right after people. I mean, you weren't playing games. You weren't trying to trick people and everything. You were coming gasoline yourself, Beckett and the rest of the staff. I mean, all the time they were coming right at you. So I knew going in, it's like I had to be ready because these guys are going to come right at me. And it was a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we were always like, it was funny you say that because like Penny, Burnett, Beckett, myself, it was like, who could look at the radar gun and throw harder? Meanwhile, we'd face you guys with the Braves, and all those guys would be pulling the string on all our hitters, winning all the games. But, man, we're throwing hard, so it's good.
but it's good to see you because it brings back a lot of memories, good memories,
Dude, your OPS off me was 1424. It was so bad. I remember facing you, and it was the same day, actually, or a day before we went to the All-Star game in 2000. You were with Tampa Bay, and you lined out, and I remember you lining out and coming down the first baseline, and I said something to you really, again? And you just smiled with that smile you got right now, and you started laughing at me, and you just kind of it was almost like that Michael Jordan when he did the I don't know. It was just like everything you hit. I threw a slider in your shoe top. It was a rope down the line. If I threw a fastball away, it was the other. You saw the ball really well off me. So I tip my cap to you. It was good. But there was
like
guys
I said, Ryan, well, the thing about it, Ryan, I would tell you, because you would come right at me and the thing about it. But see, what kills me in today's game is that guys have all this arm guard. Because, see, I was never scared of a right-handed pitcher because right-handed pitcher, you always see the ball well coming, either up here or coming down low. So, but it was left-handers that you didn't see very often because growing up, when you're young and everything, you're facing mostly right-handed pitchers and everything, so you don't see lefties. So when you see the ball going away from you, it makes it a lot tougher. But nowadays, it kills me because the batters, they got elbow guards, they got shin guards, the Justin Turners, and all these other guys. They play big and bad. They play like they so big and bad. They get on top of the plate, right? And they're like, come on, come on. I'm like, dude, take off the arm guard, take off the shin guard. Okay, now let's play ball. Because now as a pitcher nowadays, they got no chance.
Well, when they did throw it over the plate, you crushed it. You 493 home runs, 1,550 RBIs. 5-time All-Star. You raked in the playoffs, over 300 hitter with 10 homers, 37 ribbies. That's big numbers in the playoffs. And then when you put all those together, for me, I said it when I introduced you, is I feel like you belong in the Hall of Fame with those numbers. And I'm not alone. I know a lot of people feel that way. Do you feel like, with the Veterans Committee and going forward, A, do you think that there's a possibility that you'll get in? And B, what would that mean to you to get into the Hall of Fame?
What do you tell me? It's a good possibility. But I've been very blessed, Ryan. I got cut from my high school team, and they had a senior first baseman, a guy named Izu Segura. So I'm like, man, I got no chance to play first. So I'm going to try for the outfield. I never played it before. Long story short, ended up getting cut. So I had to go back and play at my Little League, West Tampa Little League over here in Tampa and everything. So for me to overcome all that, be blessed to play 18 years in the big leagues, for me to hit one home run, because I grew up going to Tampa Tarp, Cincinnati Reds spring training games when they had it here in Tampa. So for me to just get one day in the big leagues, it was awesome. You know what I'm saying? So everything else is like icing on the cake. And so it would be awesome, but you got to keep going on. You got to keep some things that you can't control. If you can't control them, then, hey, you just keep rolling and we'll see what happens.
So this is a little segment we're going to have. This is our questions from our RG fans right here. Who was the toughest pitcher you faced?
Toughest, I would say Randy Johnson, just in the sense where he had that real good, he had a big-time slider, good slider. And plus he threw hard. And it was wild because, like I said, fear plays a big part. So for me, you're trying to stay in there and keep your shoulder in there because he has that slider, but he's all over the place. And so I always tell myself, I laugh because you're on TV, right? And so you go, okay, don't embarrass yourself. Don't let him get you 3 or 4 times in one game, okay? Just make contact. I don't care where this ball goes, but just put it in place somewhere. and you could run down to first base, and you could be laughing like, yes, I made contact, you know, that's all I want to do. You know, I'll get somebody else tomorrow. Somebody going to pay tomorrow. But for this day, I'm not going to let Randy hit me in the head. You know? So Randy was the toughest, man, because you tried to hang in there, but he was a little wild, man.
Yeah, he was nasty. This comes from obviously the fans on the north side, and you know, you played 2 seasons in Chicago. You know, what was it like to play at Wrigley Field for you?
I had a great time, you know, and the best part of all, and I laugh about this, is I'm taking batting practice almost every day with Sammy Sosa. Me, Moses Alou, and Sammy Sosa. We took batting practice at the same time every day, at home, on the road. Okay, and here you got Sammy's hitting home runs left and right, you know, over scoreboards, over everything. And so wherever Sammy went, you know, it was a big crowd for batting practice. For batting practice, we're talking about 10, 15,000 people everywhere, right? So Sammy's hitting bombs, right? And then me and Moses Alou, we got to get in the cage, right? And then whoop, whoop, we punching balls to left field. It was like embarrassing. It was crazy. Sammy hitting balls, moonshots everywhere else. So it was a trip.
Well, when it came time to the game, though, you were hitting homers in the game. Dan Plesac was telling a great story about the wind blowing in about 30 miles an hour, and you hit an absolute just missile left field off of him. And Plesac's no joke. You want to talk about tough lefty on lefty matchups. I think you got a heater down and away and just hit a rocket to left field, cut the wind. And he still, to this day, says one of the most impressive home runs he's seen at Wrigley.
Oh, there's no question. Every time when I see Plesac on TV, right, I know what kind of stuff he had. Like you said, he was no joke, you know. So when you see Plesac, you just go like, okay, he was a good pitcher.
You were great on your time on the north side of Chicago. The Cub fans loved having you over at first base. Everywhere you played, San Diego, Toronto, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, even the Dodgers for a little bit. But, you know, you were a fixture at first base, one of the premier players, and so humble about it. It's fun to see you smile and catch up on these memories of all this great time. Thanks so much for sitting down and talking with us today and taking a trip down memory lane, because right now there's no baseball and that's all we got. We really appreciate it.
Oh, anytime, Ryan. You're a good man.
Hey, big thanks to Fred McGriff for stopping by off the mound. Now we're going to take a trip to the south side of Chicago. That's right. We're going to bring in 2005 World Series MVP Jermaine Dye is going to be joining us. We'll be right back with more Off the Mound presented by Sloan.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Right now, Toyota is offering 0% financing for 60 months on 8 of our most popular Toyotas, like Camry, RAV4, and Tacoma. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home. Many Toyota service centers are open to help keep your vehicle in top shape and may even offer no-contact vehicle drop-off.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
I had a husband who was my vision, but when he died, I knew I was in big trouble.
At Care.com, search for lots of local caregivers who can help with meals, housekeeping, personal care, and more. It costs less than you think, and it's easy to pay. Care.com.
Restaurants are facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to make it through. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
We will get our momentum back. Our businesses back, our smiles back, ourselves back. Because that's what this community does. At First Midwest Bank, we want to thank our colleagues for doing everything they can to help our clients and our communities get through this. Because we are all in this together. And together, we will get our momentum back. First Midwest Bank.
Every generation has its heroes who see past themselves and the risks and the fear to run toward the danger with courage and compassion, touching lives, saving lives, changing us all. Every generation has its heroes, and you are ours. Advocate Aurora Health.
0. The smallest number can now make for the biggest savings at Hyundai. With 0 interest for up to 84 months. 0 payments for 90 days. And thanks to Hyundai Assurance, 0 worries with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Leaving 0 excuses to not be driving your new Hyundai by Memorial Day. Get 0% APR for 72 months on the Santa Fe or Elantra, or 0% APR for 84 months on the Tucson. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Mound, presented by Sloan. Really excited for our next guest. He showed up on the south side of Chicago in 2005 and instantly brought him a World Series championship, and he was the MVP of that World Series. Let's bring in outfielder Jermaine Dye. Jermaine, what's up, man?
What's up, Deb? How you doing?
I'm good. How's life treating you in this quarantine era?
Oh man, it's been tough, but I'm surrounded by family, my kids and my wife, and I'm at home, so not much to do, but we get into a little routine. I'm usually the first one up, and I just get me some coffee, maybe go outside, enjoy some fresh air. But other than that, we're just hanging out and just trying to create some sort of good family time.
Going a trip down memory lane. You play. You come up with Atlanta, then you get traded to Kansas City. You have some monster years in Kansas City, then you get traded to Oakland via Colorado in a three-team deal there. But then you come to Chicago, your first time as a free agent. You get to be a free agent. What made you pick them? Why the Chicago White Sox?
It's a pretty good story. I just remember me and my dad talking, and I had 2 teams. I had the Chicago White Sox and I had the Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers had an extra year and more money, but then the Chicago White Sox came in kind of late, and I just felt like, on paper, I think that was the best chance I had to win a championship and get deep into the playoffs and hopefully win a World Series. So I decided to, take one less year, take a little less money, and just go out there and prove myself. I was coming off of a year in Oakland where I just broke my leg, and I was trying to just get back on track again. So, Chicago, you win in a big city, as you know. I mean, it's you're golden. So I just wanted to just bet on myself and get out there and then try to prove myself, and things worked out.
You look back at that, and it wasn't the 108 years of the Cubs, but it still had been a long time since the White Sox had won a World Series. What was that like when it finally happened, and just seeing the energy of the city and going through that parade? And you were the World Series MVP. Your starting rotation could have been MVPs collectively because they just dealt, but you led the way offensively, and then go out there and win an MVP and bring that championship finally back to the south side of Chicago. What did that feel like?
It felt great. Each night it was a different guy going out there doing something to help us win, and our pitching staff, they were unbelievable throughout the season, on into the playoffs and into the World Series. And, to have a guy like Bobby Jenks just come out of nowhere and do what he did to close games out, it was just awesome. And then, to go through the parade and see all the fans and the kids and the people just, outside hanging out of windows, that really touches you and puts in a perspective of how great of a city Chicago is and how diehard of a fan base that both teams have in Chicago.
We kind of had the height of the Sox-Cubs rivalry. Still, worst moment of my closing career at Wrigley Field. I had 2 out, nobody on, and you hit a little ground ball up the middle. Or somebody hit a ground ball, then I walked you, and then AJ hit a 3-run homer on a hanging slider, and he's yelling around the bases at Wrigley. I can't even imagine. I can't say it on TV right now. And I still, to this day, I'm like, if I could have one pitch back as a closer in my entire career, it's that pitch to that guy right there.
That guy, right? But you know what? AJ, he has his good days. He has his bad days. We dealt with it in our clubhouse. AJ's, he's when it all boils down, he's a great guy. He's a great family guy. And it's just when he steps on that field, you love to have him on your club, but you hate him as the opposing team because he just wears on you. Just wears on you.
you're doing stuff. I know you're bummed out. You just had to cancel a golf tournament that you had for your charity. You know, talk to us about what your foundation is doing and what you guys are trying to do. And is there anywhere that people can go to help out and you know, and still give back, even though right now we can't play golf until we get back there?
Well, I teamed up with it's called Fresh Start Caring for Kids. It raises money to do surgeries for kids, babies, adults, whoever that have deformities, and we just have to pay for the medicines and to put them up in hotels and feed them and stuff like that. And Rady Children's Hospital here in San Diego and University of Children's Comer's Children's Hospital in Chicago, they do all the surgeries and donate all the OR rooms for free. So it's been great. We've raised a lot of money, and unfortunately, I was supposed to have my tournament this past Monday this week and had to postpone it till October 4th and 5th of this year, hopefully. So you can go to Fresh Start Caring for Kids .org or freshstart.org and look up info, or just go to jermainedye.com and you can get to it that way also. So that's awesome. A sad week for me this week, and but we'll get through it and we'll become better from it.
Absolutely. Well, here at Off the Mound, we believe in giving back and helping out. So we're going to go to Fresh Start as well, and we'll donate $1,000 to the Fresh Start Fund, caring for kids, and help out that way too, and keep it going, even though there's not a golf tournament. And I look forward to maybe you saving a spot for me in that October 4th and 5th tournament.
Definitely.
All right.
Count yourself in.
Good. Perfect. Well, JD, you were a pro's pro, so much fun to compete against. Admired the way you played, and happy for you and your career, and now happy for you and your family, and now you get to watch your kids live out their dreams as football players, and your daughter growing up and becoming young adults. So thanks so much for joining us here today on Off the Mound. We had a blast catching up with you, and glad to see that you're doing well, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Thanks for having me, and hopefully see you soon once this is all over.
So great to catch up with Jermaine Dye there. After the break, it's more Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan.
Marquee Sports Network counts down the best moments of the extraordinary 2016 season on Cubs Countdown.
Game over! Jason Hayward makes a catch. It's a no-hitter. The Cubs win the World Series.
Cubs Countdown, the best moments of the 2016 season, Saturday at 12 on Marquee Sports Network.
Do you have concerns about mild memory loss related to aging? Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Hey guy. Hi there. Welcome to Hims.
Should have done it years ago, and I feel like the young stud that I always imagined I was.
Outstanding product. Works above and beyond our expectations.
This has been a life changer, even in just a few weeks.
Featured in GQ, Playboy, and Men's Health. Find out what all the buzz is about.
Go to forhims.com/ed and get started with a free online visit while supplies last.
We were made here. Like anyone who calls Chicago home, we're proud of that. Just like you, we root for this city. We respect what makes it unique, and we're actively working to create something that only gets better. When you're from Chicago, your word means something. You follow through, you keep your promises. At Wintrust, we've taken our place as Chicago's bank, because this is home. We're built here, for here. Can your bank say the same?
I'm Kyle Hendricks.
I'm Anthony Rizzo.
I'm Craig Kimbrell.
You're watching Marquee Sports Network.
Hey guys, Ryan Dempster here. It's so important that we wash our hands, now more than ever. I just wish there was some sort of way I didn't have to touch the soap dispenser, faucets, and dry my hands off on the towel. Somebody will think of that.
What you're witnessing is revolutionary. It's more than just hands being washed. It's common sense being applied.
Well done, Slow. Brilliant. Javi Baez, what can we say about that guy? Boy, did he inspire guys on the field. He didn't just inspire people on the field, though. He inspired people around the office. That's right. We're talking instincts, no-look work. A lot of great things were happening. Hey, Jim, you got that stapler?
Here you go, Dump.
Hello? Hello? Hey, Dave. What's going on? Yeah, meeting downstairs? I already knew. I'll see you down there. Hey, Joe, you want a water? Yep. Ken, how about you? Yep. Oh, yeah. No, I like that. That's a good day. We can do that. Works well. Hey, it wasn't always perfect, though. Javi made errors out on the field. So, guess what? Errors got made in the office, too. Hey, Jim, you got that stapler? Hello? Dang it. Hello? I know it's coming. We want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster here this week. We got a big episode dropping next week. That's right. Chicago Cubs legend Harry Wood's going to be with us, as well as the Hall of Famer Alan Trammell of the Detroit Tigers. You're not going to want to miss it. Tune in next week for Off the Mound with Ryan Dempster, presented by Sloan.
Welcome to the stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
Me personally, I have great confidence that we'll reach an agreement with the Players Association, both that it's safe to come back to work and work out the economic issues that need to be resolved.
So MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred is confident that we will have baseball in 2020. Sounds like some positive news heading into the weekend for baseball fans. We'll see about that as we open the stadium here on this Friday. I'm Michael Kim. Thanks so much for watching. Well, the owners and the players must still reach an agreement on a variety of topics before the games can begin. Foremost in the minds of all involved is making sure that the players, coaches, and umpires are protected from exposure to the coronavirus as much as possible, and that proper testing protocols are in place. Here's what the commissioner said on CNN last night.
Hopeful that we will have some Major League Baseball this summer. We are making plans about playing in empty stadiums. But as I've said before, all of those plans are dependent on what the public health situation is and us reaching the conclusion that it'll be safe for our players and other employees to come back to work. We have developed extensive protocols. A key to those is frequent testing. All of our players would be tested multiple times a week, PCR testing to determine whether or not they have the virus. That testing would be supplemented less frequently by antibody testing as well. We hope that we will be able to convince the vast majority of our players that it's safe to return to work. The protocols for returning to play, the health-related protocols are about 80 pages in length. They're extraordinarily detailed. They cover everything from how the players will travel, private charters, how those charters have to be cleaned, who has access to the ballpark, strict limits on number of people, tiering of employees. So even those people who are in the ballpark will be isolated in general from the players. So we'll hope that we'll be able to convince them that it's safe. At the end of the day, however, if there's players with either health conditions or just their own personal doubts, we would never force them or try to force them to come back to work. They can wait until they feel they're ready to come.
If there are games to be played, there is the unlikelihood that fans will be allowed to attend, at least in the early stages of the season. Manfred also says if states like Illinois are not prepared to host Cubs and White Sox games as early as July, Major League Baseball has other options.
I've talked to the governors in the 18 states where we play, assuming that we try to play some games starting in the first half of July. Most governors expressed hope that we would be able to use facilities, of course, initially without fans. But we do have contingency plans. If in fact, there was a problem in a particular market, we have contingency plans where that team could play somewhere else, at least temporarily.
Even after the owners and players come to an agreement on safety and health protocols, as well as issues and concerns that cover temporary rule changes like a universal designated hitter and an expanded postseason format, the biggest obstacle standing between the two sides boils down to the bottom line. And the money at stake for Major League Baseball, says Manfred, is significant.
The economic effects are devastating, frankly, for the clubs. We're a big business, but we're a seasonal business. And unfortunately, this crisis began at kind of the low point for us in terms of revenue. We hadn't quite started our season yet. And if we don't play a season, the losses for the owners could approach $4 billion.
Our Stadium MLB insider Trevor Plouffe joins us now. And Trevor, we know this: no games, no money for either side. So based on what you've heard, and it seems as if the players have considerable leverage right now in these negotiations, what sense do you get that they will come off their demands and their stance and go halfway even to what the owners want?
Well, I agree with you. I think this is the least amount of leverage the owners have had in a long time. With that being said, I don't think the players are going to try to use that to their advantage at all. I think when I'm talking to most of the guys, all they ever say is, we made an agreement in March. All we want is the owners to stick to that. And when this proposal came out, the thing that led it off was a revenue share for player salaries, which is basically a concession on the agreement that they already agreed upon. And the owners knew that was a non-starter. Tony Clark came out and said, that's a non-starter for us. The owners knew that. In my eyes, it was a PR play by them. They wanted to be the ones that said, we're going to bring baseball back. We have a plan. And it's the players here that are being greedy, and they're the ones that are stopping the game from coming back to you, the fans. But they've dug their feet in. This is not something they're going to agree to. I will say that I do believe an agreement will be made, and I think one way they can do it is sticking to the agreement, paying players a prorated amount for the amount of games played, but probably they're going to have to defer the money. We know what Rob Manfred came out and said last night on CNN, that they were going to lose a ton of money this year. I don't know exactly what those numbers are. The players have requested the books from the owners, which is a very interesting play. But I think that's going to be the way the deal gets done, is just deferring these contracts a couple of years down the road.
Yeah, Manfred has said that it's $4 billion at stake for Major League Baseball if there are no games here in 2020. So a significant amount of money there that would ultimately hurt not only the owners, but the players as well, and the game as a whole. And so with that in mind then, Trevor, what responsibility do you sense that the players have to make sure that there is a season here? Because so many people are looking toward them as a sign of hope and a return to normalcy.
Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to try, like you said, to bring a little bit of hope back to the American people. Baseball's done it before. They've done it after World War II. They did it after 9/11. Guys want to play ball. I think that it's going to get done, but it's just not the time. We've had 4 decades of our union holding strong, or the players have had 4 decades of their union holding strong. It's not going to come down to this where it's going to break and they're going to accept some sort of salary cap. That's just not going to happen. And like I said, players, number one thing, they want to be out there. They want to make sure it's safe. That's the number one thing the Players Association has said this entire time. We want to make sure the health concerns are matched. We don't want to go out there and risk, our coaches, the people working the stadiums, our players especially. I think that's the number one thing that needs to get taken care of, and then the money thing will take care of themselves.
Absolutely. Knowing what you know, and certainly with your experience as a former player, but if you were still playing right now, Trevor, would you go back right now?
It depends on what part of my career I was in. I think that's what people need to realize. Players have a very short window to maximize their earning potential. Most guys by the time they're 30 are going to be out of the game, and they're not going to make any more money off baseball. So I think that's a big thing for guys to think about. Like, where am I at? If they feel safe, they're going to go play. But if they have reservations about it, if there's an underlying health issue, if someone in their family has an underlying health issue, I think that's something they're going to have to think about. But if they feel safe, they're going to go play. For me, at this point in my life, I don't think about playing whatsoever. But, if I was 26, 27, 100%, I'm back there as long as they tell me it's safe, no matter what my contract situation is.
Okay, we'll see what happens here in the coming weeks when we know that it will get a little sticky, a little nasty when dollars and cents are coming into the equation as far as the negotiations. Trevor Plouffe is our Stadium MLB Insider. Thanks as always, Trevor. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Mike.
Coming up, tonight was supposed to be opening night for the Sky and the WNBA debut for Ruthie Hebert. She tells us how she's killing time and why that may not be a good thing for a Moose. That's next on The Stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
Let Marquee Sports Network deliver fresh baseball news and analysis to you with Cubs 360 Daily. Though baseball may be on pause, we're pulling together the most knowledgeable voices coming to you daily from their home to yours.
As we speak, I think there's going to be baseball this year. There's going to be baseball in some way, somehow.
Cubs 360 Daily, fresh each weeknight at 6 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Miller Lite.
The Stadium is proudly presented by UI Health. Thank you to our heroes on the front line, and thank you, Chicago, for doing your part and staying home. We will get through this together. Proud partners with UI Health, changing medicine for good.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
We're all missing those special moments when baseball brings us together.
For now, let the memories of the good times help you through.
Thank you to those who are working on the front lines and to those keeping everyone going on the home front.
Thank you, Chicago, for staying safe at home.
We will have more of those memorable moments soon enough.
Welcome back to the Stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good. A month ago Sunday, Ruthie Hebert was selected by the Chicago Sky with the 8th overall pick in this year's WNBA draft. And one of these days, she will get to meet her new teammates and her new coaches and live in the city where she was born. But that will come. Right now, though, Ruthie is kind enough to join us here on the stadium to get us caught up on what she's been doing since the draft. First of all, congratulations, Ruthie, and welcome to the stadium.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So it's been about a month now, and I know it's kind of crazy. Normally, when you're a first-round pick, you do all these media events, and you come to the city, and you get set up, and you start practicing and playing with your teammates. But that hasn't happened because of what we're going through right now. So catch us up to speed. What have you been doing since the draft?
Since the draft, I've been working out as much as I can, and also Coach Wade has set up Zoom calls. So every week, we get to do Zoom calls with the team. So that's been really fun to be able to meet all the players and the coaches and kind of get to know them.
What do you know about your new teammates and coaches?
They're amazing. They're funny, they're down-to-earth ladies, and the coaches are great. They're motivated, and they're all ready to work. So I'm just really excited to go into a group of girls that is a family and is ready to work and loves basketball.
Now, what do you know about Chicago?
I know there's lots of good food, and it's called the Windy City, but that's about it right now. I'm excited to explore.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what's at the top of your list of things to do once you come to Chicago, which, by the way, is where you were born, and then you were adopted and moved to Fairbanks, Alaska. So now you're finally getting to live in the Windy City. But what's on the top of your list of things to do?
Definitely eating and shopping and just walking around and looking at. I heard there's great museums there, and there's just a lot of great things to do, and what I can tell, great people too. So I'm just excited to go out and explore and learn more about Chicago.
Now, are you a pizza fan?
I am.
And you've probably heard that Chicago is famous for pizza, right? Are you ready for the deep dish pizza that the city has to offer?
I can't wait.
What are your favorite toppings?
I just like pepperoni, honestly. I'm kind of just a basic pepperoni fan.
Well, that's good. That's good. There's plenty of pepperoni pizzas to be had. You'll have to do a little taste test with all the different outlets here in the city. And yeah, it may take you a while to get through all of them, but I know you'll have fun doing it. You wrote a beautiful and touching piece in the Players Tribune, I thought, about how your mother learned how to braid your hair. She wanted to make an 8-year-old Ruthie happy, and she went to YouTube and found out how to do that. But you also said that you would never have anyone else braid her hair. So I guess that means she's going to be coming to visit a lot, maybe even staying with you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've had a few other people braid my hair, but usually it's my mom. The majority of the time, I prefer my mom. So definitely have a spot for her wherever I end up in Chicago, and I know she'll be down a lot.
And you also mentioned during your piece that, look, there's the possibility that you might run into a natural relative. Someone may even approach you and say that you're their sister or even their daughter. How prepared are you for that moment, if that happens?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty prepared. I've been thinking about it kind of since the draft happened and I got selected. So I'm pretty prepared. I'm ready. I know my mom and dad will support me. I have family that will support me as well. So I'm kind of ready and, excited to see what happens once I get to Chicago.
So you were a first-team All-America at Oregon, a first-round draft pick with the Chicago Sky, and now you're going into professional basketball. What are you hopeful that you can bring to this organization?
I hope I can bring energy and kind of a light, and I'm ready to get in there and work hard and, bring my consistency that I had at Oregon, hopefully, to Chicago. And I know I have a great guard, Courtney, who likes to pick and roll, and that's what I did for 4 years at Oregon. So I'm just excited to, work with the pick and roll with her and just do whatever I can to help out this amazing team.
Yeah, you had an amazing set of teammates there. In fact, they went 1 and 2 in this year's draft coming out of Oregon. Of course, a lot of people know about Sabrina Ionescu and also Satu Sabali. What was it about Sabrina that you learned that helped your game out? We've heard so much about her and her influence on the women's game. How does she influence you directly?
She's just my best friend, and I think ever since we stepped on campus together, she's been pushing me to be my best, and I think I helped push her to be her best. So she's always helped me. She's brought out the more competitive side of me. She's taught me some things that I do in basketball, and I think just all around, she's a great basketball player, but even a better teammate. So just having a good teammate who works hard and pushes you is something that I'll always carry with me.
Of course, we know a lot about her relationship that she was able to form with Kobe Bryant. I don't know how much you had with Kobe before his passing, but I also see that number 24 over your shoulder. What number are you going to wear with the Sky?
24, so I'm really excited.
Yeah?
Yes.
Is it because of Kobe?
Yeah, when I was younger, I remember watching the Lakers play, and I watched Kobe Bryant. I think ever since then, I kind of just like fell in love with him, fell in love with his hard work. I used to watch YouTube videos and whatnot of him, and I just think his hard work and his dedication was something I was like, oh, I want to be like that. I want to be like him. So kind of wearing that number just reminds me of how hard to work.
And we see that you're also wearing some Team USA gear, a member of the national team. And how has that experience helped you, and do you think prepare you for making that next step to the WNBA?
Yeah, playing against other professional players and going to camps with them and stuff throughout my college career has definitely helped. Just being able to learn from Sylvia Fowles and Stephanie Dolson and Tina Charles and great post players like that, I think is something. Their little tips and helpful hints are going to help me in the WNBA. And it's just great to always play against professional players when you're younger than them and just learn and kind of fangirl over them for a little bit, especially last year when we played against the team.
All right, so Ruthie, I was recently listening to a piece as well as reading some articles about your game and how they've really been impressed watching you play with the national team, against the national team, and how you've improved year after year, and they've seen how your game has blossomed. They say that you still have tremendous upside, which means also that you want to improve, and I'm sure that you've that's in the back of your mind to try to improve your game. If you had to pick one thing that you'd like to see you take that next step, where is it?
Well, I think I just want to be able, with my shot selection, I think being able to shoot farther out, having the ability to shoot farther out to make the defense guard me different ways is something I definitely want to improve on and work on, so I'll be able to be more effective for the Sky.
You know, it's funny because your college coach said basically the same thing, that sometimes you're a little hesitant to take that shot from the outside. Now, why is that?
I think it's because, during my college career, there's a lot of times when I have four, amazing shooters. So they definitely have the priority when we're shooting on the outside. I have the priority when we're shooting on the inside. But there's definitely always like that thought of, oh, Erin's going to be open and she's one of the best 3-point shooters, or Sabrina or Taylor. So that's something that's in the back of my mind. But I'm really excited to take the next step and be able to look for my shot a little more in the league.
Yeah. Don't forget to shoot your shot now. It's going to be big for the Sky, not only this year, but for years to come. All right. There's another article that I read, and it was in The Atlantic. In fact, it was written by a fellow Chicagoan, Brian Hamilton, for The Athletic. And I want to read the first line, and this was really an eye catcher. He wrote, "There is a specific technique for skinning a moose." And then a few lines later, "But the fact remains, Ruthie Hebard has skinned a moose." What? I mean, explain this to us.
Well, I'm from Alaska, so hunting is something that lots of Alaskans do, and something that my uncles have always done since I can remember. So a lot of the times when I was younger, we had an RV, and we'd go camping with my uncles and my parents and stuff. And one time my uncle brought a moose back to camp, and he let me and my brothers help him skin the moose, and it was just kind of gross, but also really fun experience.
I'm going to guess that you're one of the few, if not the only one in the WNBA who has that talent or has that experience. I mean, have you ever come across anybody on the basketball court who has done that outside of Alaska?
Nope, not yet.
All right, see, you're the first. Well, I don't know if you'll have that many opportunities in Chicago to do that. That's probably a good thing, but we will be looking forward to seeing you hit some pizza joints. They'll take care of all the pepperoni skinning for you there inside Lou Malnati's and places like that. So I think you'll be covered. And, of course, we'll be looking for some success there on the basketball court with the Chicago Sky. Hey, Ruthie, it was so much fun having you here on the show, and good luck.
Thank you.
Coming up, we wrap up the show and continue our series on hometown heroes. That's ahead on The Stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
The Stadium is proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good.
I see you out there. I hear you singing from the rooftops. You're making it work from home, or you're still going to work every morning. You're carrying the weight. You're lifting our spirits. And you are there for your community. Yeah, you. Turns out you're a lot stronger than you think. Your strength is inspiring to all of us. Thank you.
I want to personally thank the brothers and sisters of Local 134 who continue to put Chicagoland's needs above their own by providing essential services to the people of Cook County and keeping hospitals, airports, and other critical facilities running smoothly. Every one of you are a vital part of Chicagoland's battle to end COVID-19's outbreak. COVID-19 has presented unique challenges, but you continue to step up. IBW Local 134's highest priority during these unprecedented and uncertain times remains ensuring the health and safety of our members. That is why I am continually in contact with our NECA contractors, general contractors, and city, county, and state officials to ensure the safest possible work environments are being provided, from increased hand washing stations to maintaining proper social distancing. This global pandemic has hit home in a very real way. Brothers and sisters, let's stay together, let's stay strong, let's stay 134 strong.
I know for every pizza I deliver, that's a trip that family doesn't have to take out of their house. It relieves some stress off of me to let me know that I'm doing something good for the community, not just Papa John's.
Tell us we can't, and we'll prove you wrong. Knock us down, and we'll get right back up. Call us risk takers, misfits, bad boys. But we know what we want, and it feels like American muscle. Looks like advanced engineering, and smells like fresh, cut grass. Bad boy. Mow with an attitude.
Welcome back to The Stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good. Marquee Sports Network and MLB The Show 20 are bringing the virtual America's pastime to you in our time of need. Join the watch party over on Facebook every game day at 1 p.m. Time now to continue with our Hometown Heroes series, and we take a look at the youth who saw their educational system change dramatically when the pandemic hit. But leave it to a couple of Chicago area high school freshmen who stepped up, gave back, and then some. Taylor McGregor has more.
It just all came very overwhelming to me.
The coronavirus pandemic has caused life to come to a halt. For some high school students, their whole way of learning changed very quickly, which is when COVIDtv.com was born.
We both came up with the idea when we realized all the really unfamiliar feelings that quarantine was bringing to us. We realized that we wanted to do something about it, and more than just staying in touch with our friends, we wanted to help people know that we're all in this together.
The website started gaining traction across the country, and as it did, they wanted to do more with it to help people.
That's why we opened up our community projects, where we have ambassadors all across the U.S. who are taking action in our 4 categories, which are build a mask, food for all, support the unemployed, and speak up and write to your state.
These projects have raised over $10,000 and created more than 4,000 masks in just a few weeks that they've been alive. They want everyone to know that in these trying times, there is help.
We may be separated and our worlds may be kind of flipped upside down right now, but this COVID TV is really a supportive community, and it's just allowing us to connect teens from around the world and have this uniting experience because we're all going through the same thing. And through COVID TV, we can really come together as a community instead of isolating ourselves.
If you would like to nominate someone that you believe is a hometown hero by their community service or is serving on the front lines, please let us know. You can head to marqueesportsnetwork.com/heroes to nominate our next hometown hero. A reminder that you can always catch us here at 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday on the Marquee Sports Network. You are watching The Stadium, proudly presented by UI Health, changing medicine for good. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you again on Monday.
Service isn't just a department. It's a voice on the other end of the phone.
A note to say you're on our mind. A willingness to come to you.
The world and how we interact with each other is changing, but that will never change who we are at Lexus.
Now, more than ever, you and your needs come first.
Find out what service options are available in your area at lexus.com/people first.
Running a business here comes with ups and downs. The downs make you tougher. The ups keep you pushing. At Wintrust, we know what that's like because we started here too and have found a way forward. From us to you, keep going. We've got your back.
Yes, the first word to any adventure. But when allergies and congestion strike, take Allegra D, a non-drowsy antihistamine plus a powerful decongestant. So you can always say yes to putting your true colors on display. Say yes to Allegra D.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
Hi, I'm Lolly, a Domino's franchisee.
As you can see, we're open and working hard to safely keep putting food on people's tables.
And we could use your help doing that.
If getting some full or part-time work during these tough times could help you,
Domino's is hiring.
Head to jobs.domino's.com
and apply today. Because we're not only committed to putting food on people's tables,
we're committed to helping you put food on your table.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Right now, Toyota is offering 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4. Or you can lease a new RAV4 for $229 a month. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home. Many Toyota service centers are open to help keep your vehicle in top shape and may even offer no-contact vehicle drop-off.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
Back again for a Friday installment of Cubs 360 presented by Miller Lite. I'm Cole Wright once again. Now, on the show today, Alec Mills, he's going to stop by to discuss 2020 and how he's staying fresh and ready. And when it comes to staying fresh and ready, well, all of our panelists today, they picked an ultimate Cubs lineup, which, oh, by the way, you can check out over on MarqueeSportsNetwork.com. And when it comes to center fielders, well, I went with Jim Edmonds, Mr. Cubs 360, Bruce Levine. He went with Andy Pafko in the big field. It's a pretty good pick right there. And our Ivy Leaguer, Doug Glanville, former Cub, a member of that 2003 NLCS team. He had Kai Kyler in center field. Who would have known? And how about our Marquee Sports Network digital content manager, Tony Andracki, going with a guy who played basketball in college and was a pinch runner on his baseball team at Arizona. That's Kenny Lofton. He could steal a base or two, that's for sure. Now, no wrong answers there, guys. Only right answers. And right is spelled with a W, and Jim Edmonds in center field. Now let's attack the day because we have plenty to get to. And we'll start with the conversations, of course, being had between Major League Baseball and the Players Association. And Commissioner Rob Manfred, well, he was on CNN. He spoke to Anderson Cooper and Dr. Sanjay Gupta about how everything will unfold as we approach 2020. Let's listen up.
We hope that we will be able to convince the vast majority of our players that it's safe to return to work. The protocols for returning to play, the health-related protocols are about 80 pages in length. They're extraordinarily detailed. They cover everything from how the players will travel, private charters, how those charters have to be cleaned, who has access to the ballpark, strict limits on number of people, tiering of employees. So even those people who are in the ballpark will be isolated in general from the players. So we'll hope that we'll be able to convince them that it's safe. At the end of the day, however, if there's players with either health conditions or just their own personal doubts, we would never force them or try to force them to come back to work. They can wait until they feel they're ready to come.
Okay, Doug, we heard Commissioner Manfred speaking on health and safety issues with Anderson Cooper and Dr. Sanjay Gupta. He said he won't force players to play, but we heard what Blake Snell had to say. He said he won't play for any less money. So when it comes to 2020 getting underway, what happens if the stars like Mike Trout, Chris Bryant, Cody Bellinger, if they say no?
Well, then baseball does have a big problem because you're talking about the icons of the game. That's who people come to see. And in the case they can't come with no fans, then you're going to watch these players. And you want to know about Mike Trout and the records he's always threatening. So these iconic figures are going to be important. And plus, they also set the tone. So all of a sudden, Trout's not playing, Bellinger's not playing. Then you look and say, well, the ripple effect of what that's going to say to the rest of the players about the safety. So it is a personal issue. Every player's situation is different from a health and comfort level. And I think the right move was Commissioner Manfred to establish that we're not forcing you to play. But at the same time, of course, they want all these players to do it in unison, to be together through the Players Association and get all the best players and the brightest players, because this is a time you need eyeballs on the game once it does come back.
And what I always keep coming back to is the fact that, like, first of all, they're not essential. They're not food service industry workers, grocery store, healthcare, whatever. So this all is just a want. It's not a need. But I mean, I agree with you, Doug. This is very, very good for the country. It'd be good distraction, entertainment for everybody. But these players are not just thinking about themselves. They have to think about their wives, their children, their family members, their parents that they may be coming into contact with. If they pick up the disease and they're able to fight it off, then they don't want to pass the virus on to anybody else. So it's thinking about more than just them. So I really do understand why some of these guys like Blake Snell or others would not want to play.
Well, I understand all that, but there's going to be hundreds of millions of people going back to work in office situations, and they're going to have to deal with the same realities that the players have to deal with. It's not always easy for anybody to tell somebody they must do something. I don't expect players to go back to work, especially the ones that have pre-existing conditions. They shouldn't go back to work. It's too big of a risk. But from the perspective that it's just baseball players that are at risk, we're a whole world full of people that are going to be at risk going back to work. So from that perspective, I understand it. I understand their entertainment, but Major League Baseball is going to do everything they can. And Rob Manfred has talked about the fact that players are going to be tested at least 2 times a week, that if somebody tests positive, they'll go to isolation, but it won't be for 2 weeks. That means it won't stop the game itself. Believe me, there's a 80-page manual that they are handing over to the Players Association that depicts everything medically that they plan to do and want to do to keep players safe. So from that perspective, I think many of the players and most will go back.
Now, we talked about the fact that Commissioner Manfred and Major League Baseball, they're not going to force players to play, but you said you see a lot of players wanting to go back. Do you think that is where the bulk of players will lean as opposed to not getting back to business and playing? Are we going to see more guys wanting to go?
Well, they're going to want to come back, Cole, because of the fact that this is what they do for a living. They have a very short, very, very short window to their careers. People's careers in baseball average 4 years. So from that perspective, they can't emotionally, monetarily, physically afford to take a whole year off, because it wreaks havoc with a baseball athlete, with any athlete. They miss an entire year, in this case, more than a year. That could just change the course of their whole careers. going forward. So you're going to see many of them, once they feel safe comfortably with the medicals, yearning to come back for many, many important reasons.
Yeah, and I think to that point is there's an element of luxury that we have to identify here. I mean, Blake Snell can say that because he can decide, I don't want to make 2.3 million. I want to make my full boat. I mean, there is a luxury to that. And as you mentioned, Bruce and Tony, just, this is not essential for, food and people recovering from virus, illnesses related to the virus. But at the same time, that, as you mentioned, Bruce, you do have a small window in your career, and there's many other players behind you that may say, I'll play, or they'll raise their hand. They might be single with no kids and have different circumstances. But for the health of the game, certainly the icons, it would be beneficial for those players to elect to play. But it also could literally change overnight if something goes wrong, and then you have to reconsider everything all over again.
Yeah, and I just look at a guy like John Lester. I mean, he doesn't really have anything more to prove in the game. He's getting up there in age, so he could just retire, walk away, decide it's not worth the risk. That being said, I mean, this is potentially his last year in a Cubs uniform, whether we have a season or not. And he's trying to make a Hall of Fame case. Maybe he needs a little bit more to go out there, more wins, more innings, more good starts to make that Hall of Fame case stronger. So I think on an individual basis, you look at a guy like Lester, there's a lot of motivation to come back for the points that you guys all said.
Take it one step further, what Tony's point is, and that is a guy like John Lester has had more time to rest at age 36. So this could work to the older players' benefits when they come back, that they've had more time to recover. When you look at a baseball athlete and you see the attrition over their career and year to year, this extra time might work to their advantage, especially being a shortened season.
Yeah, well, like we said earlier, it's going to be interesting to see how many different career decisions are made as 2020 is speeding down the road. Now, there's more to come right here on Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite, including Alec Mills. He doesn't know when the season will start or what his role is going to be, so how's he staying ready? He's going to tell us next, right here. You're watching Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite.
Catch all the weekly show highlights each weekend with Best of Cubs 360 Daily.
5 years ago, I didn't get into this game to be a pitching coach. I was in this game to help guys get better. You asked me what the greatest moment is in Cleveland in 2016. There's nothing like that.
The fact that they documented these things right at that time in the 90s. And they knew at some point they wanted to show the world what that experience was like.
Best of Cubs 360 Daily, Saturday at 11:30 on Marquee Sports Network. Proudly presented by Miller Lite.
When you're home, there's nothing like enjoying a classic with a classic. Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories.
People will always come and go in our lives, but we all know those few who never left. The partners who've always had you covered. That friend you consider the best, because that's how they make you feel. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we know what it means to be there, guiding you toward a healthier state of mind. Because the more we know as individuals, the healthier we all feel as a community. Through it all.
Restaurants are facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to make it through. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
After I came home from Iraq, I could still hear the booms. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
DAV helps veterans get the benefits they've earned.
Thanks to DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
It's about winning championships. It's about holding yourself accountable to the things that you've found in winning. I've been a part of winning almost my entire life, and I know what that looks like. And those are the expectations that I'm going to hold those guys accountable to.
Mills gets a start tonight for the Cubs. Made 3 starts and he's done quite well, including his last outing against this group.
Got him looking for the first out.
The 1-2 from Mill to Goldschmidt. A swing and a miss, strike 3. Good fastball, got it.
5, right? He struck him out. A career best 9 strikeouts for Alec Mills.
Oh, 9 strikeouts versus the Cardinals. That always makes dinner taste just that much better. And back here on Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite. And let's welcome in the man who did the deed. It's Alec Mills. He's a jack of all trades. He's a Cubs righty. He's been a starter, a reliever, he even has a save under his belt. So first things first, Alec, welcome to Cubs 360. And how you doing? How's the family?
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm doing all right. Family's doing good. Everybody's healthy. We're all just kind of hanging out in the house.
Alec, the first question that all the fans want to know is, how are you staying game ready, and how does one prepare for a season when you just don't know when it's going to start?
Obviously, this is territory that none of us have been in, so kind of doing what we can to stay ready. But I'm throwing into a net pretty much every day, and then getting what I can done workout-wise. Just kind of talking with Shane and doing what I need to do to stay in shape. But I'll be ready to go.
How much are you paying attention to the media reports out there about the players and the owners getting together, and how much you rely on other players as well as your player rep?
I try not to pay too much attention to the stuff on Twitter and Instagram and all that. Obviously, we can lean on, Hap and KB and stuff like that for the news that we need to know and the stuff that is actually true. So we'll just kind of been one of those things where we've been in conversation with those guys and letting us know possible dates, possible locations, and stuff like that. Stuff that's vital for us to know so we can, get geared up and get ready to go.
Let's take you back to March 12th. Baseball is suspended. You are making a lot of strides toward not only making the Chicago Cubs, but being a viable party and fighting Chatwood pretty much for the 5th spot, and pretty much knowing that you're going to have a spot on that team. How difficult is it for you, a guy that has really pushed hard throughout his professional career to establish himself, and knowing that you have to go back and do it all over again for most likely a 2 or 3 week spring training?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult. Obviously, when it happened was a tough time for me. Like you said, was having some success and was really enjoying the competition that was going on. Chatwood was pitching very well and was definitely earning his spot and all that stuff. But hopefully, I'd like to think that my past work will have a lot to do with the decision. But being able to come in and be ready to go is something that I always pride myself on. So hopefully I'll be able to do that and be ready to go.
When you talk about being ready to go, all we can do right now is sit and wait for Major League Baseball and the players to come to some kind of decision. But in the meantime, we know that you're a new father. Has that been an exercise in patience as well?
Most definitely. Obviously this situation has been very unfortunate, but I'm just trying to look at the bright side of things. I've been able to, spend a lot of time at home with my wife and my newborn. So he's growing, he's learning. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of fun for me to learn how to be a dad. Obviously, it's not easy, and it's been a learning process for me for sure. From going to not even having to change a diaper to the other day having to, change the nasty one. So we're learning every day. It's something that just makes me better.
Tom Ricketts was on with the season ticket holders yesterday on a webcast, and he talked about that first and foremost, safety is the number one issue for Major League Baseball and the Chicago Cubs to get you back there. How much reassurance do you get out of the fact that that the owner of the Cubs, Major League Baseball, wants to make this first and foremost a place where you guys, the guys taking the risks every day, and the product are going to be safe and feel secure about going back to playing baseball?
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a very player-first owner, and always wanted to know, what we needed, what we wanted, and always kind of, gave us the best situation possible to go out there and perform. So obviously, hearing him say that is very reassuring. And it's something that the country as a whole needs to know, that safety is always first, and making sure that we're going out there and doing this, and we're not gonna risk ourselves to the point where could start something worse. So obviously it's good to hear.
Well, hopefully the players and the owners can come to a decision immediately, if not soon. Alec Mills, Mr. Do It All for the Chicago Cubs in 2020. Hopefully we get to see you back out there on the mound sometime very soon. Thanks for taking time out with Bruce and I today.
Yeah, I hope so too, and appreciate you guys. It was fun.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alec. Now, still ahead on Cubs 360, this year's team is something special, especially on the left side of the infield. Javi and KB, but are they the best tandem in all of baseball? We're going to answer that next, right here. You're watching Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite.
Motorcycle riders love the open road, and Geico loves helping riders get to where they're going. So to help even more, Geico is giving new and current customers a 15% credit on their motorcycle policies with the Geico Give Back. And because we're committed for the long haul, the credit lasts your whole policy term. The Geico Give Back, helping riders focus on the road ahead.
People from Chicago pull for Chicago. We root for its teams, celebrate its successes, push through its challenges. When people call us the second city, it's misleading. We're second to none. We're hardworking, resilient, but we have a good time. When you live in Chicago, you proudly call this home. Your bank should too. We're Wintrust, built here, for here. And we've taken our place as Chicago's bank because no other bank can say the same.
At Domino's, we think you and your oven could use a break. Ours are running at 450 degrees, and your pizza stays untouched from here to your table. Use contactless carryout to get 3-topping pizzas on any of Domino's 5 crusts for just $7.99 each.
Do you have concerns about mild memory loss related to aging? Prevagen is the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere. Prevagen, healthier brain, better life.
Kick off the summer in style at Darvin's Memorial Day sale. Save big with 55% off everything in our showroom, an extra 10% off famous manufacturers, a $55 instant discount, and no interest financing for 55 months. Plus, you'll enjoy the same great savings whether you make an appointment to visit our Orland Park showroom or shop online at Darvin.com. The Memorial Day sale on now at Darvin Furniture and Mattress.
We've been making cars for America for 25 years, building one of the best warranties anywhere, and capturing first place in initial quality for half a decade. We've never backed down from a challenge, and won't now. Introducing Kia's Accelerate the Good program, where we're pushing payments way down the road for new buyers, helping current owners keep the car they have, and providing other customer care programs. Because no one company or person can beat this thing, but together, we are unstoppable.
Many restaurants and bars are closed, leaving millions without work. America's taps are off, but the tips are needed more than ever. Miller Lite is helping with a virtual tip jar that supports the Bartender Emergency Assistance Program via the USBG National Charity Foundation. Now, they started off with $1 million donation and are asking those who can to join them at virtualtips.org, and they'll continue to support the effort as we continue to face this unprecedented time.
Leaves his feet, throw to first, got it, what a play. He is a special ball player.
Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play.
Back here in Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite, we continue to roll. The guys, they're still intact. It's Bruce, Doug, and Tony. And as we know, Chris Bryant, former MVP winner, and Javi Baez, just 2 years ago, well, he was runner-up to the same award. Now, if we had a season right now, we'd be in game 2, a 4-game set with the San Diego Padres, and that would be a battle of the left side. KB and Javi versus Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., which gets us to our Miller Lite refreshing take of the day, where I ask you guys the question, do the Cubs have the best left side of the infield in all of baseball? Tony, what do you say, yes or no?
It's hard for me to say, but it's a no from me. I'm actually going to go with a left side infield that has not yet played together in the regular season. Anthony Rendon and Andrelton Simmons over with the Angels. These guys, I mean, defensively, you're talking about potentially two of the best at the position, maybe the two best. And then what Rendon did in the playoffs last year, the way he was clutch and came up with, I mean, every time he had an at-bat with guys in scoring position in elimination games, he came through somehow, and his offensive numbers are right up there with the best in the league. So I'm actually going to go with those two guys.
So in my top three would definitely be KB and Javi. But for my number one, I have to go with the Cleveland Indians. You have Francisco Lindor at short and Jose Ramirez at third. And you're talking about great defense. Lindor, just Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. He's got the 40 home runs, 40 doubles, 30 home runs a year, steals bases. And Ramirez, although he had a bad first half last season, the second half he hit 327 with an 1105 OPS. And by the way, they're both switch hitters. So what do? You can't bring anybody in to get these guys out. So right now I see them as the cream of the left side, but Javi and KB are right behind them.
Well, I'm also going to pass on the Chicago Cubs. I know it's tough to do because they're great, but you guys might think I'm Rocky Mountain High, but I'm going with Trevor Story and Nolan Arenado because those two are monsters, not only on offense where they put up the huge numbers everywhere, not just at Coors, but everywhere. Defensively, they're as good as anybody as well. So this subject is so strong in shortstop and third baseman combinations that you can name 6-7 groups and be right about it. But in this case, it's Arenado and it's Story for me.
Okay, Tony, what can KB and Javi do to change the mind of Doug and Bruce as 2020 looks to get underway?
I think the biggest thing is just health. Both of these guys have had health issues the last few years. We didn't see Javi in all of September last season. Bryant had the knee issue last year, the shoulder issue 2 years ago. So I think these guys absolutely have the potential to be number one, certainly in the top 3 or 4, like Doug and Bruce are saying. But I think it just comes down to health and staying on the field and doing what they can do when they're available.
Yeah, well, maybe one of those guys can bring home a World Series MVP award, but I don't want to put the cart before the horse. They have to get there. First things first. Now, more to come right here on Cubs 360, including Ben Zobrist. Speaking of World Series MVPs, he won it when the Cubs broke the curse in 2016. So if this 2020 team, if they want it all, they're going to need another igniter. So who's it going to be? We'll discuss. That's next right here on Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite.
Marquee Sports Network counts down the best moments of the extraordinary 2016 season on Cubs Countdown.
Game over! Jason Hayward makes a catch. It's a no-hitter.
The Cubs win the World Series.
Cubs Countdown, the best moments of the 2016 season, Saturday at 12 on Marquee Sports Network.
0. The smallest number can now make for the biggest savings at Hyundai. With 0 interest for up to 84 months. 0 payments for 90 days. And thanks to Hyundai Assurance, 0 worries with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. Leaving 0 excuses to not be driving your new Hyundai by Memorial Day. Get 0% APR for 72 months on the Santa Fe or Elantra, or 0% APR for 84 months on the Tucson. Visit buyhyundai.com today.
I'm Mike Zen, CEO of the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics. To our doctors, nurses, and entire staff at UI Health, thank you. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, your guidance and courage have been an inspiration. Our deepest gratitude is for your commitment to our patients. Your brave, selfless care exemplifies what makes us great. And Chicago, we are here for you. We will get through this together.
I had kind of given up hope. I wasn't going to spend $12,000 on hair plugs. But I tried this, and it was great, and I've never looked back.
I brush my teeth in the morning. I had braces when I was a child. We take care of other parts of our body. You can take care of your hairline. It's okay.
I mean, I'm just grateful that the products work so well, that they're so convenient, and that I don't have to stress out about losing my hair anymore.
Don't wait until you lose more hair. Go to forhims.com right now.
Restaurants are our family, the cornerstone of our communities. And our family needs help. Right now, they're facing a crisis, and they're counting on your takeout and delivery orders to help them through. Because if we don't treat restaurants like family today, they might not be around to treat us like family tomorrow. Grubhub. Together, we can help save the restaurants we love.
Wow. Ryan Dempster, Jermaine Dye, and Fred McGriff. It sounds like tons of fun and plenty of insight. You can catch that on Off the Mound tonight, 7 o'clock, presented by Sloan. Now, it is closing time here on Cubs 360, presented by Miller Lite. Bruce, Doug, and Tony still in tow. And Jermaine Dye, as we know, he was a World Series MVP back in the day with the White Sox in 05 when they won it all. And he was in his first year with the team, much like Ben Zobrist was with the Cubs in 2016. Now, gang, if the Cubs want to win a World Series, they're going to need to ride the coattails of somebody like Zobrist in 2016. So this year, Bruce, who do you think it would be?
Well, I'm going to go with Craig Kimbrell. He's got to be the shutdown guy for them all season and in the World Series. He's the guy that has to get it done. You need a dominant guy at the end, and that is certainly going to be the case if the Cubs are going to go all the way. You can make a case for a number of different people, but in my world, it's going to be Kimbrell at the end, closing the American League team out.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit broader because I see the starting rotation the last couple of years. I mean, that is the anchor, and you have bigger questions because you're coming back off of this virus in this time period. Whenever that happens, you're going to have challenges with pitcher readiness, and anybody who's a step ahead in your rotation or being able to go deeper into ball games is going to have a leg up. And we saw when Yu Darvish got hot last season, you found it. That changed everything. I mean, that was all of a sudden a chance to win every ball game. So they're older, and they're going to have to figure out how to stabilize that. And that's, to me, the key for the Cubs' success in 2020.
Yeah, I'm going to go with kind of cheating a little bit, but Kyle Schwarber and Wilson Contreras, because that top three of the Cubs order, I think it is really solidified with Bryant, Rizzo, Javi, but you need these guys after. And we've seen Schwarber and Contreras offensively in these little bursts over the last couple of years. But if Schwarber's second half of last year was real, if Contreras can stay healthy and really put it all together for a full season, I think it changes the entire dynamic of the Cubs lineup. So I think those two are the guys for me that could step up. They could get hot, be World Series MVPs for this team.
I'm going to Anthony Rizzo. A little offense plus defense could equal another World Series championship. Now, guys, before we get out of here, we have some housekeeping notes to keep you abreast on. Of course, Cubs 360, the best of, that'll debut right here at 11:30. You won't want to miss that on Saturday. You can catch interviews with Tom Ricketts, Mike Wilbon, and Jason Hayward. And Cubs 360, we're going to have a new time on Monday. It's 7:30 Central right here on Marquee Sports Network. So until then, well, it's goodbye for everybody here, including Bruce, Doug, and Tony. And for everybody at Marquee Sports Network, I'm Cole Wright. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody.
That feeling you get when no wallet is no big deal. That's the BMO effect.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Right now, Toyota is offering 0% financing for 60 months on 8 of our most popular Toyotas, like Camry, RAV4, and Tacoma. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home. Many Toyota service centers are open to help keep your vehicle in top shape and may even offer no-contact vehicle drop-off.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
On the next, Cubs 162. The gift of perspective in these uncertain times.
I'm more worried about going